Hi, Shane Getson here. I'm the MLA for Lexington and Parkland, and I'm going to talk about a pretty heavy subject right now. So recently, I don't think there's anybody in Canada who hasn't heard about the 215 children out in the residential schools in Kamloops. This event brought it to attention of a lot of folks that maybe didn't pay enough attention to it on the residential schools. This is something that's literally entrenched in people's memory and history and cultures that maybe hasn't, actually it hasn't received enough attention. Let's put it that way. Let's not mince words. This is a terrible event that is simply the tip of the iceberg in a lot of cases. What I'm doing locally is I'm reaching out to the First Nations leaders and community people, and I'm talking about the entire constituency. This is not a First Nations issue. This is a Canadian issue. This is an Albertan issue, regardless of where you came from, how long you've been in the country or otherwise. This is something that we need to work on together. So what I'm proposing is that we do work together on it. I want a list of the names of the people that we can remember that went away to residential schools, specifically the ones that didn't come home. I'm reaching out to the communities. I know there's been works that have been taking place in that regard. I want to then take that information, compare it against the records that we have. So Minister Wilson and Minister Glubish are working on this, and we're going to make this right in the context that we do everything we can honestly and truthfully to bring this to a close, to understand where all these little babies are at. I want to then take that record. We want to find out which schools they went to, and we want to compare that against the lists from those schools. I'm reaching out to industry partners that have the technology, both with LiDAR and ground penetrating radar. What I want to do is a cross comparison against that. I want to take a look at these areas where there's potential for depressions, etc., that some of these graves may be similar to what took place out in Kamloops. This is how they discovered that. They raised money, went out to a suspected area with ground penetrating radar, and here's the discovery. We have that same technology in the energy sector. I'm going to be reaching out to folks in that area. Then I want to put up a monument, if you would. I want these names to be at the Legislative Assembly. I want them to be, if I had my druthers, it would be near the federal building where the flags are at, and I want these names recorded. Further, I'll be reaching out to our federal counterparts. I want this as not just a day, a remembrance day once a year. I want the physical monument there with the names of those little babies that never came home. So we will never forget them. We will never forget this part of our Canadian history. We need to make this right. It's not a matter of funding. It's not a matter of waiting around for the government to do it. This is us, as Canadians, as Albertans, as humans, to do the right thing. We cannot shy away from our history. We cannot allow this to happen again, and we cannot keep putting the First Nations communities through this pain every time we discover or find something else like this. It's up to us to make it right, and I'm reaching out to you. If you feel the same connection and the same tug and the same pull that on your soul that I do and my family does, being a father of 4 and having our own kids, just imagine it was your kids that were taken away and they never came home and you never got closure. It's the right thing. So please, help us in this regard. Send me in your ideas. If you've been working on something similar to this project, I definitely want to hear from you. Help me to do the right thing. Call our office, 780-967-0760. If you want to help out, volunteer your time, and let's do what we can to make this right. Thank you.